The firefighter actually tried to light a cigarette in the midst of the blaze, but while the raging fire consumed everything in its path, it couldn't ignite that cigarette. The man knew this might be the last cigarette of his life, yet he just couldn't get it lit. He could only walk silently toward the flames. His mission was to shut off the oil tank valve with his bare hands. There was no room for even the slightest mistake. Otherwise, crude oil would gush into the adjacent tank. If that tank exploded, it would trigger a chain reaction. The force would be enough to destroy the entire city. The loved ones he wanted to protect were all in this city. It was precisely this conviction that kept him from backing down even an inch. But the man didn't know that the manager hadn't told them the whole truth. 2 hours had passed. The oxygen tanks were completely empty, yet the valve still wouldn't budge. The man sensed something was wrong, and immediately reported the situation to the commander. Under the commander's pressure, the manager finally told the truth. This valve requires 1,000 rotations per full turn, and it takes 100 turns to close a single valve. With 4 valves, they would need to turn them hundreds of thousands of times. The commander flew into a rage on the spot. Even if they worked non-stop, they could never finish. But the manager retorted, "Who would have dared to go in and fight the fire if I'd told you this from the start? Once the truth came out, I'd lose my job too." The commander slapped him hard across the face, and told him he didn't understand firefighters at all. Forget about a desperate situation, you couldn't even finish turning them in a comfortable environment. The moment he learned the truth, the man broke down, but he still didn't stop turning the valves. He didn't know how much time had passed. The man's hands were already burned, and in the extreme heat, even breathing was excruciatingly painful. But fortunately, they managed to close 2 valves. By now, the fire was raging even more fiercely. To shut off the last 2 valves, they had no choice but to risk crossing the pipeline. Midway, an explosion nearly engulfed his teammate in the flames, but fortunately, the man grabbed him just in time. Then they began their final battle with death. Soon, the man managed to shut off 1 valve. By this point, his teammate was severely dehydrated and oxygen deprived. The man wanted to lead him to safety, but his teammate was fixated on shutting off the valve. So the man climbed to a high point and cut through the metal framework, telling his teammate to run while he followed close behind. But when they reached the safe zone, the teammate realized the man had never intended to leave. As if in response to the man's defiance, the flames swept over him like a giant wave. Gazing at the photo on the ground, the man found the strength to carry on. For behind him, the lives he was protecting were not just his comrades and the citizens, but also his beloved wife and children. If he backed down, this city would have no tomorrow. They weren't unaware they might die. They just knew someone had to stay behind. As if sensing our resistance, the fire suddenly launched a counterattack. Seeing this, the deputy captain immediately pulled out his phone to record the team members' final words. "There are no miracles in this world, only people fighting for their lives."